Tonight on SportsDesk, on new turf, Canes football has welcomed a lot of new faces this season. Our In the Trenches crew is live in studio to tell us more.
Lone Star Smackdown. Canes volleyball had a historic win in Texas last week. The O Sports Roundup will dive deep into the details of their victory.
And finally, Bright Lights Magic City. A part of the Miami skyline bleeds orange and green for the city to see. I sat down with the UM alum who started it all.
All that and more,
SportsDesk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of SportsDesk for the fall semester. I'm Wrigley Court.
And I'm Annie Watson. Wrigley, it's quite a time to be a Miami Hurricanes fan and just a Miami sports fan in general.
That means we got a lot to talk about, Annie, so let's get right into it. The Miami Dolphins season kicked off on Sunday with a last-second win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But what should have been an exciting day for the team was overshadowed by what happened to star receiver Tyreek Hill just hours before kickoff. Tyreek Hill was his usual electric self during Sunday's game. But what happened to him before the game was bigger than football.
Get out! What part of that don't you understand?
Hill was pulled over outside of Hard Rock Stadium less than 3 hours before kickoff. Officers grabbed Hill out of his vehicle, forcefully bringing him to the ground.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little confused.
The officer who we believe is now possibly on leave, that's the officer that you saw snatching Tyreek out of the vehicle, right? That was the most aggressive person. So I think he even said, we'll break this freaking glass if we need to. And then he just snatches him out of the car. I want to say it looked like he opened up the door for Tyreek.
I guess the officers, they felt like I wasn't doing it on their timing, but I was doing it. I was shocked, man. Me being a father, me being a husband and all that, man, I was just put myself in that situation like, hey, I got to be smart.
The Miami-Dade Police Department released a statement saying that they are committed to conducting a thorough, objective investigation into the matter. But Hill's agent says that isn't enough.
Who would have thought after George Floyd that we would still see people treated like this unfairly and unnecessarily? If Tyreek wasn't a world-class athlete and in incredible shape, who knows how this could have impacted him? He was physically and mentally distraught. This is something where we're seeking answers, and we will pursue this to the fullest extent of the law.
The officer at the center of the controversy has since been put on administrative leave, but on Tuesday night, Hill's attorney released a statement calling for the officer to be fired.
Canes football played their home opener last Saturday against the Florida A&M Rattlers. Let's head to Hard Rock Stadium and take a look at the highlights. Let's go to Hard Rock. 2 minutes into the first quarter, it's 1st and 10 in the red zone, and Cam Ward under pressure throws a clutch pass to Elijah Arroyo for an early touchdown. Early lead, and now 6 minutes left in the first. Canes are at midfield, and once again, Cam Ward dressed to impress. 50-yard pass to Xavier Restrepo. Canes are now up 15-0. Start of the second quarter, up 15-3. Cam Ward thrives under pressure. Short pass to Chris Johnson Jr. for another TD. 9 minutes left in the third. Canes up 32-6 just outside the red zone, and they show they can do it all. Hand off to transfer Damian Martinez, going through 3 defenders for a TD. 3rd and 7 at the 8-yard line, and Cam sees no one there, so he just makes a run for it and hurdles over the pylon. Let's look at that. He hurdles over 3 Florida A&M defenders, just over the pylon for a reach for a touchdown, and Cristobal and the Canes are feeling pretty good as they're marching off Hard Rock Stadium field for a 56-9 win against the Florida A&M Rattlers. Miami, plays Ball State on Saturday.
Canes football is 2-0 to start the young season as they prep to face it off against Ball State tomorrow. Jaden Cohey and Carter Lutz are live in studio to tell us more about who will lead the Canes to victory this weekend and the rest of the season. Guys?
Welcome back to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Jaden Cohey, joined by analyst Carter Lutz. I have 2 words to describe that game last weekend, and that is butt whooping. 56-9 with very notable performances from Xavier Restrepo and Damian Martinez.
Yeah, JJ, you said it right there. Xavier Restrepo continues to be the backbone of this Miami offense. Another 100-yard game this past weekend. And then you also got running back Damian Martinez coming in, having a big game. JJ, not only the offense, but the entire team is clicking early in the season, and it's very encouraging to watch.
Absolutely, and you can't have that really good offense without a good leader, and they have found that in superstar and recent transfer, Cam Ward. But I hear he's not the only transfer on this team.
He's not, JJ, and it's a good time to remind the Hurricanes fans of some of the newcomers who have come. There's 15 transfers on this team, and it starts with Tyler Barron. Talk about bringing the heat to Miami. This guy, 3 sacks last week, 1 against UF, a tremendous start. Couldn't ask for anything else. Then you got a cornerback in Mish Powell. Coming over from national championship runner-up Washington, he made big plays there. An interception against Florida. He'll see the field a lot this season. Then you got safety De'Ani Hill. He's coming over from Marshall, had time with Miami defensive coordinator Lance Goodry, and he will definitely be a key role of this defense. Let's go over to the offense. Martinez, as I mentioned, 6'2", 230. Can't ask for a better build from a running back. That 1-2 punch between him and Fletcher will be deadly. Then Zach Carpenter, center from Indiana, has all the makings of a top talent in the ACC, already has ACC honors so far this year. And then finally, Sam Brown, taking over that X-receiver role from Colby Young last season, and he's done a good job to start this season.
Wow, that's some really strong transfers, but it's really important to stay consistent, whether it be the transfers, the starters, the second string, doesn't matter. But what I want to know is how can they stay consistent through the rest of the season?
Let's get into Carter's clues. Number 1, protocol playbook. You got Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator. He has that connection with quarterback Cam Ward. Play calling continue to be solid. Undercover blitz, you got to force Ball State into turnovers. They had 2 last week. Got to keep it going at Hard Rock Stadium. Number 3, Mission Impossible. Mario Cristobal, the city of Miami is behind you. Got to keep it going.
Hey, I think that mission is definitely possible for this team. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Jaden. You can talk about transfers all you want, but you can't talk about Canes football without bringing up Xavier Restrepo. Football beat reporter Ashley Friedland got to sit down with the star receiver to learn more about what motivates him here at the U. Ashley?
From in the trenches to behind the benches, Canes receiver Xavier Restrepo talks about his time at the U and his legacy he plans to leave, while he brings us inside the locker room.
It's no secret that Miami's football history is iconic, and for wide receiver Xavier Restrepo, it's a legacy he feels deeply connected to. A local South Florida product, he has embraced the responsibility of not just playing at the U, but by leading by example.
I try to keep a culture up in my receiver room, at least, and just try to show, all the guys coming in, whether it's from high school or another school, that, we have a culture here and try to uphold that each and every single day.
Being part of Miami's storied history isn't just about the past for Restrepo. It's about building his own legacy and carrying on the traditions of greatness that have defined the program.
That's part of the reason why I came back, because I wanted to stamp a legacy myself. Seeing all the type of names in, Miami history, then go on to the NFL is very, very special to me, especially growing up in South Florida my whole life. So, for sure. The history is second to none.
Restrepo also believes this year's team has the potential to add to Miami's football legacy, and he's calling on fans now to show up and make a difference.
I think there's just so many new guys on the team. Our offense, defense, special teams are so dangerous. I feel like, we have a really, really good football team this year, and we need the fans, honestly. That gives us, a second, breath, a second lung.
With leadership, tradition, and fan support, Restrepo knows that the Hurricanes have what it takes to keep Miami's football legacy alive. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ashley Friedland.
Coming up on Sports Desk, Canes athletes make many media appearances, but how does it all get done? Jaden Cohey has the story after the break. Don't go anywhere.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas.
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Whether on the court, on the pitch, or on the course, it's been quite a busy week for Hurricane sports. Riley McManus and Tucker Kinney are in the studio for this week's edition of the O Sports Roundup.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of the O Sports Roundup for the semester. I'm Riley McManus.
And I'm Tucker Kinney. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get started with volleyball. Riley, volleyball had a historic weekend. Tell me about it.
Well, Tucker, the Canes kicked off their Texas Invitational with a solid 3-1 victory over the Indiana Hoosiers. Miami then took on the defending national champions and number 1 UT Austin and pulled off an incredible reverse sweep, taking down the Longhorns 3-2. Sophomore outside hitter Grace Lopez was a key player in this matchup, tallying 20 kills, 15 digs, 4 blocks, and 2 aces. This victory over UT Austin marks the highest-ranked win in Miami volleyball history, and the Canes have now been ranked number 20 in the latest American Volleyball Coaches Association poll. And a special shout-out to head coach Jose Gondara, who celebrated his 200th career win at Miami this weekend. The Hurricanes will travel to Columbus, Ohio for the Sports Imports Classic this weekend. Tucker, soccer hosted Virginia at Cobb Stadium yesterday and didn't get the result they wanted.
The Canes' 3-game win streak came to a tough end against the University of Virginia this weekend. After beating Missouri, Florida International University, and Southeastern Louisiana, Miami put up a tough fight but gave up 2 goals in the final 13 minutes. Head coach Ken Mercer stated after the game, quote, "The scoreline will not reflect our intensity," but went on to say, quote, "That is the difference in big games." The Canes will look to bounce back against Southern Methodist University this Thursday at 7 p.m. Well, Riley, there is one more thing to talk about. Golf had a strong start to their season. Fill us in.
The golf team is in full swing, opening their season with an impressive performance at the Cougar Classic in Charleston, South Carolina. The Hurricanes secured a 4th-place finish with a solid 54-hole score of 865, giving them their best finish at this event since 2003. The Canes will be back in action soon at the Mary Fossum Invitational next weekend. Well, that's all we have time for today. Back to you at the desk.
There are over 400 athletes here at the University of Miami, and it takes a village to balance practices, games, and media appearances. Reporter Jaden Cohey got an inside look at the folks who get it all done.
Corner of the University of Miami's athletic department sits the Marketing and Communications Office. In that office are the faces of the Sports Information Directors, or more commonly known as SIDs. But what purpose do these directors serve?
We have to wear a lot of different hats, whether that's content creation, keeping track of statistics, a roster maintained, having great relationships with coaches.
When being a Division I athlete, it can be intimidating to interact with the media, especially when all eyes are on you. But with the help of the SIDs, they're able to coordinate interviews and media appearances and keep the athletes safe and protected. This creates a very personal relationship between the athletes and their SIDs.
I guess just being able to see the person behind the jersey is pretty cool to see. And they're relatively my age in the sense too, so I can connect well with them and just understanding them. So I just like seeing them thrive as humans.
She knows what's going on in everything of our lives. I tell her everything that's going on in mine. It's like having a big sister around.
With these connections, the SIDs are able to experience the milestones of the athletes that they work with every single day and see the bloom of their hard work.
I mean, this past weekend with volleyball beating number 1 team in the country, Texas.
Miami beats Texas in Austin.
I love the team so much, and I love being part of all these huge moments, and seeing them being able to do that was definitely, incredible seeing their hard work pay off.
The University of Miami is an athletic powerhouse, so it is vital to not only protect the welfare and promote the image of the student athletes, but to create that personal relationship. And the impact that the SIDs have in the lives of their student athletes goes far beyond that. Jaden Cohey, UMTV.
Canes soccer won 3 straight games earlier this season for the first time in 7 years. Annika Al sat down with starter Giselle Kasarski, a key instrument to the Canes' success, in this week's edition of Athlete of the Week.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the first episode of Athlete of the Week.
I'm your host, Annika Alves, and from Canes Soccer today we have Giselle. Giselle, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to start off the segment with a quick little game I call one-timers. It's a word association game. I'm going to give you one word, and whatever comes to your head, you just say out loud. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Okay. Love.
Family and friends.
Happiness.
Soccer.
Boring.
Reading.
Music.
SZA.
Winning.
A soccer game.
Sportsmanship.
Appreciation.
Idol.
Messi.
Love it. Okay, and so I know you're a transfer, you're a graduate student.
Yes.
Where are you coming from?
Texas Tech University.
And what is the transition like from Texas Tech to UMiami?
So Texas Tech was a college town, so coming from such a tiny town where driving across the whole city was 20 minutes, coming to a huge city, it's been honestly a great change for me. I wanted to do a sports administration program, and this is one of the best ones in the country, so I'm so excited to be a part of it. There's such a legacy here in sports for the University of Miami, so I'm so happy I chose this school.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys are just starting the season off. Do you have any goals in mind or things that you're looking forward to for the season?
Yes, so it's a whole new team, whole new coaching staff, and we're just so excited to keep on winning every single game as much as we can. We want to be so together, and we're on a 3-game winning streak right now, so going into ACC next week, we know we're going to fight for each other, so we're so excited.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for you guys, thank you so much for joining me for this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Up next on Sports Desk, change is in the air and on the court. Our Hurricane Hangtime team will dive into what's new for Canes basketball. Don't go anywhere. But first, it's time for some trivia. Canes football is ranked number 10 in the AP poll, but when was the last time the Canes won a bowl game? Is it A, 2020, B, 2016, C, 2013, or D, 2006? We got the answer after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
So it's family weekend, and I could ask what you are going to do, but what are you not going to do with your family this weekend?
See them, probably.
That's rough.
Can't say the
That's
same.
rough. Same here, Wrigley.
Yeah, my parents are here in the
They
studio,
are here.
so I can't say the same.
Welcome back. If you guessed B, you're right. The Canes won the Russell Athletic Bowl in 2016 under head coach Mark Richt. They beat West Virginia 31-14.
Football season is officially underway, and the Miami Hurricanes have a new biggest fan, but it's not who or what you think it is.
In the middle of downtown Miami, a 60-story skyscraper holds up the U and lights up in orange and green. This is the Paramount Miami World Center, the 10th tallest building south of New York City and home to the world's most advanced animation lighting system.
The Paramount Miami World Center features the world's most technologically advanced color kinetics lighting system, and it features 13,400 light-emitting diodes, and they're embedded in these 10,000 panes of high-impact glass. And everyone always says, oh wow, how much is the electric bill? Because at night it just shines over the whole city. It's super bright. Everyone can see it for miles. And to be honest with you, it's only about $34 a night.
The building opened in 2019 as part of a new urban core for the city. UM alum and CEO Daniel Codsey believes the lighting system will help set Miami apart from other major cities.
Paramount Miami World Center is that building for Miami. It's the building that you see when you drive into Miami, you fly into Miami. It lights up. Major cities around the world, whether you the Empire State Building in New York or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Paramount is, that beacon in Miami.
The tower stands just by the Casey Center here in Miami's Park West District. And while in the daytime it looks like a sleek, shiny condo, at night it shines bright for the Magic City. The Paramount doesn't only light up for UM football. It lights up for the Super Bowl, the Final Four, and the NBA playoffs. The lighting system is also used as a public messaging service for events, holidays, and memorials. But deep down, a passion for the U is at the core of Daniel's work.
To light it up with the U is special for me. I went to the U, went to back in the time when the U became the U. It's very inspiring to see it on, on the building. It's on the Miami skyline. And when people drive by, they get excited to see the U up on the building.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Annie Watson.
The host with the most may have left the Miami coast, but the most electrifying segment on television is back to keep you engrossed. I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but here's Zach Macer on Behind the Post.
Hello, SportsDesk fans everywhere. Let me welcome you to the segment with all the fun and flair. I know I'm not the host with the most, but now it's my time to boast. From all things Miami Hurricanes you see on your phone, when I'm on SportsDesk, your mind will be absolutely blown. So sit back on your couches, prepare to coast. My name's Zach Macer. It's my time to take you behind the post. Saturday was the Canes' debut at The Rock, and boy, did the Canes put Florida A&M in shell shock. They dominated the game 56-9, and quarterback Cam Ward is everywhere on national headlines. He had 304 yards passing, 4 total TDs. He's on fire right now. He's playing like he's 1,000 degrees. Heisman! But in the NFL, former Canes Tyreek Stevenson and Gregory Rousseau showed off their prestige. They won both NFC and AFC Defensive Player of the Week, respectively, basically giving a warning to the league that they're ready to lay siege. Do you know who else laid siege? Canes volleyball. Last Saturday in Austin, Texas, they took down the #1 Longhorns at their home stadium, so clearly nothing affects us. It was the first time that the Canes ever won a game against a #1 team in the nation, so it had to call for a big celebration. Take a look.
Damn, Schwazi, I love this.
Congratulations, ladies, on a super win. As soon as I saw it, I had a grin. To keep the undefeated streak alive. Beat Ohio State. We can't wait to see you thrive. Look, that's all the time I have tonight, but don't worry, I'll be here every week. And when you see me on Behind the Post, I'll bring out my sick rhyming technique. Now, back to the desk.
Thanks, Zach. Watsco is getting ready for basketball season, and so are the Cane Squads. Our Hurricane Hang Time team is in studio to talk roster changes and season expectations. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Penelope Gilbert, alongside analysts Gio Alonso and Mia Hausman. Gio, the men's basketball team has some big shoes to fill in key positions after the departures of star players Norchad O'Meara, Bensley Joseph, and Wooga Poplar. Are there any new players in particular that you have your eye on this season?
Well, Penelope, when you lose as much production as Miami did from their 2023-2024 season, usually that's cause to be very concerned. But Miami made a ton of additions in the offseason through the transfer portal and through recruiting. We're going to take you through all of those additions in these upcoming weeks. But today, I want to focus on Lynn Kidd, the transfer center from Virginia Tech. Now, when I think of Lynn Kidd's career so far in the NCAA, I think of one word, and that is improvement. Every single year he's been in college basketball, his stats have gone up in terms of points per game and rebounds per game, and his efficiency has increased every single year. Last year, the most impressive thing to me was his free throw shooting percentage increase. There's a reason Coach Jim Larrañaga called him the most improved player in the ACC. Now, one thing I am concerned about is his stats seem to dip a bit last season in ACC play, but with his trajectory and the marked improvement year to year, it's not out of the question to think Lynn Kidd could be a huge player for Miami this season.
Moving on to the women's team, Mia, the Lady Canes have also seen changes to their roster this season, bringing in a lot of new, but also some familiar faces.
Yeah, Penelope, and two of those familiar faces would be the Cavender twins, who are returning to Coral Gables for their 5th and final year of college basketball. The last time they played here was in the 2022-23 season, where Haley led the Hurricanes in free throw percentage, three-point percentage, scoring, and minutes. And Hannah also had a great season, leading the Canes in assist-to-turnover ratio, at 2.3, and making it to the All-ACC academic team as well. The Commodores have taken a year off from the U and basketball, so I'm sure they're ready to rock the Watt.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Let's send it back to you guys at the desk.
Still ahead on Sports Desk, it takes two to make a thing go right, and the same is true for this week's Play of the Day. Stay tuned.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Red Sox and Yankees have one of baseball's oldest and most iconic rivalries, and the latest edition of that rivalry did not disappoint. Let's head on over to Yankee Stadium for this week's Play of the Day. Bottom of the sixth here last night, tied up 1-1. Aaron Judge is going to send it over to third baseman Rafael Devers, making a diving catch, getting not one but two outs there. Look at that catch again. He's going to do a little barrel roll there to get the throw off, and that is going to end the sixth inning right there. He's going to get a little high five there from Trevor Story. Honestly, the pitcher should be the one giving him the high five, because a defender like that, that's a pitcher's best friend. Now, the Red Sox would end up losing this one 2-1 in extra innings. But you know what's better than winning a baseball game? Being this week's Play of the Day.
When the Indiana Fever took Caitlin Clark in this year's WNBA draft, fans across the state welcomed her with open arms. And one town in Northwest Indiana had a unique way of honoring the rookie phenom. Take a look at this aerial view of a corn maze designed to look like Caitlin Clark. The cornfield shows Clark holding a basketball and wearing the iconic 22 jersey with the words, "We Heart Caitlin Clark," for everyone to see. The maze was designed by County Line Orchard Farms in Hobart, Indiana, 2.5 hours north of the Fever's home turf in Indianapolis. Quite the love for the WNBA Rookie of the Year candidate, Caitlin Clark. Wrigley, I gotta say, that's probably the most Midwest welcome I could ever see.
Yeah, Annie, you know, we're both from the Midwest. I've never seen anything like that far. I'm not sure about you.
I definitely have, and that's quite a bird's eye view. It's just fascinating to see all the love that she's gotten ever since she's come to the WNBA. And Indianapolis is the place to be.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for women's basketball for sure. Stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese bringing that game to a national stage. It's a beautiful thing to see.
It really is. It's awesome to see the empowerment that women in sports has gotten so far.
Oh, for sure. Well, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in for the first episode of Sports Desk for the semester.
Be sure to tune in every Friday this fall, same time, same place.
Have a great night, everybody.